All right, the Texas standoff is officially over. Democrats in the Texas State House of Representatives totally caved today, returned to Austin, where they will now be present to witness the passage of what President Trump is calling one big, beautiful congressional map, expected to add up to 5 Republican members of Congress to the House in D.C., and President Trump now urging the state legislature to pass the map as soon as possible, and is saying, quote, "It is wonderful to see Republicans everywhere standing up to save our country." Now, the House met today after Texas Governor Greg Abbott called a second special session, and here's how it went down and how it started.
We are done waiting. We have a quorum. Now is the time for action. We will move quickly, and the schedule will be demanding until our work is complete. To that end, members who have been present before today for whom arrest warrants were not issued will receive written permission to return Wednesday at 10 a.m. Members who have not been present until today for whom arrest warrants were issued will be granted written permission to leave only after agreeing to be released into the custody of a designated DPS officer appointment under the rules of the House, or who will ensure your return Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Here with more, Governor of the great state of Texas. God bless Texas. Greg Abbott is with us. As you predicted, they caved. Congratulations, number one. Number two, you really, in the process, I think, did the country a real service. The country is now aware how gerrymandered California is, New York is, Illinois is, New Jersey is, all of these blue states, you know, where Republicans get 30, 40, in some cases 48% of the vote, and either zero representation or very low representation because they have gerrymandered their states to death.
Most of Americans were unaware how these blue states had gerrymandered their states so much. It's so ironic that these Texas Democrat House members went to Illinois, which is one of the most gerrymandered states in the entire country. And when you look at California, Illinois, Massachusetts, New York, they've squeezed out all Republicans they can possibly squeeze out. What Texas is doing, we're just drawing fair maps as allowed by law, and it will ensure that at least 5 more members of Republicans will be serving in the United States Congress. Let me add to what you showed on the agenda earlier, because the Democrats did return to the Texas Capitol, to the state of Texas this morning. And then hours later, the House committee already passed those maps out, and those congressional maps are going to pass out on the House floor on Wednesday. They've already passed out of the Senate. They will become law probably by the end of this week.
Oh, that's great news. Let me ask you about this. You talk about other states being gerrymandered, and, you know, every Democrat kept saying, we're going to fight fire with fire. And I'm like, there's no more fire for them to fight with. There's no more gerrymandering available to them because they have, you know, mastered the art of gerrymandering, haven't they?
Well, so at the top of the list of what you're talking about, of course, is Gavin Newsom, who seems to be trying to run for president. But the fact of the matter is they are incapable of achieving what he wants to achieve out there because it's going to require a constitutional amendment. And a poll came out showing that 2/3 of his own state residents are against what Gavin Newsom is proposing. And also, as we talked about, Illinois, where J.B. Pritzker is running seemingly for president, they've squeezed out as many Republican districts as they possibly can. And of course, Massachusetts, even though Trump won about 38 or 39% of the vote there, they have 0 members of Republicans in the United States Congress. And so what the Democrats have done is disgraceful and potentially illegal. I'll tell you this much. If California dares to try to squeeze out more Republicans, there are going to be lawsuits that will overturn that. What I can tell you in the state of Texas, the 5 Republican seats that we are adding, they are going to withstand legal challenges, and those will be Republican members added to the United States Congress.
Let me ask you this, because Gavin Newsom seems to be one of the louder voices against you, or has been. I did notice, by the way, you said you had the lowest unemployment rate ever. Greatest job creation ever for the last number of months, while simultaneously the last 2 months in California, did I read it right that California has the highest unemployment rate in the country? You have one of the lowest and one of the highest, one of the greatest job creation records in the history of the state?
So Texas ranks #1 in the United States for the most new jobs added, and we've been #1 for a long time, and we are bolstering the United States economy. At the very same time, it was shown that California, under Gavin Newsom, they rank #1 in the highest unemployment. And so while they're flailing at adding new jobs, Texas is leading the way.
Do you expect more migration? For example, if let's say Mamdani wins in New York, do you expect more migration to the great state of Texas or my great state of Florida? That all these big companies, they're not going to take what Mamdani is selling, and that they're going to leave, and they're going to leave in droves, and it's going to be, you know, another mass exodus, another wave, if you will.
So, Sean, we are fully expecting it because Mamdani is going to cause so many New York businesses and others to flee. And Texas is getting ready for it because, as you may have noticed, we're not spending as much money as we used to on the border wall in South Texas because Trump is actually stepping up and doing that. Instead, we're getting ready to build a border wall on the northern and eastern border of Texas to guard against all the New Yorkers fleeing to our state.
I don't blame you. You know, there ought to be some type of litmus test. And the only litmus test is you can come to Texas, we have open arms, but don't bring the policies that destroyed your state with you. There's got to be one criteria. You know, you can't be a commie Mamdani supporter. Anyway, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, good to see you, sir. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.